I knew I shouldn't have done this job.
Really don't want to do that. That right there is pretty fucking steep. But you're gonna waste a lot of your fucking time. I've got some shelves right now for some dry storage, so we'll end up moving a bunch of this shit that's just unorganized back over here and organized. Like all of our, we've got like all of our plumbing shit we need to. I'm extremely OCD, so
yeah, it's driving me insane, right? Yeah.
See, all of this used to be in the up there in the commercial spaces, and then we just quickly moved this to build that out, and nothing's gotten put back.
You done swamped it.
That's the hardest fucking thing, dude, is to get people to treat your shit like it's.
They never did.
So we just got a skeleton crew working today because the rain. We'll go back through to the truck. So this is kind of my little man cave. I work up there. Vince works up there with me, and
Heck yeah.
got my shit kind of away from all the hustle.
So you just came in from Ohio and just stuck, huh?
Just shut up. Never called me or nothing. Just shut up. I've got a lot of like sales background. So like when I went to college, I paid my way through college by telemarketing. And I'm competitive, so I always want to be really good at whatever I'm doing.
Right.
Plus, I'm money motivated. You know, in sales, you write your own check. So,
exactly.
Number one, I want to be the best in the call center. Number two, I wanted to make good money. So we were selling timeshare, which is fucking terrible to try to sell. So the first week when you go to work there, you go through their training, and that's it. That's all you get. So if you want to get better, you got to train yourself. And I've always kind of liked psychology, which is sales is nothing but psychology. In the gym, I'd listen to like sales training, and then go home, shower. Had about 30 minutes before I went in, I'd watch some sales videos, and then I'd go in and just fucking beat the phones. You know, there's so many things that I do subconsciously now, but there's like all these different disc assessments and stuff like that you got to kind of understand. How, you know, what personality your buyer is, and you gotta meet their personality. So like if they're really slow and drawn out at how they talk, and that you can kind of tell like they think a lot while they're talking, then that's how you need to mirror that. You know, if they're real fast, like someone from up north, they want the highlights, cliff notes, just give it to them as fast. They don't want all the bullshit, and that's how you have to communicate with them. So a lot of what you're going to be doing on the phone is just reading. The thing that we like to do is we like to get to a ballpark over the phone, before we go out. And sometimes that's really hard for people. They think, well, I got to go out and gather all this information. And if you have that mindset, that's cool, but you're going to waste a lot of your fucking time. You need to get as much information from the customer as you can. A lot of times I like to start with photos. You know what I mean? Like, hey, real quick conversation, get me the photos real quick. When I get those, I'll call you back. Because it is hard to get to that ballpark if you can't visually see something. They give me the address and I can see it from Street View or Google Maps, Well, I let you get to a ballpark number. If they're like, yeah, that sounds good, then we'll run out, But I like to screen as much as I possibly can. Number one, I've got way too much going on to run to every single call. Number two, I don't want to run to every single. Let's say I had the business running 100% self-sufficient and all I was doing was sales calls, I don't want to run to every single person. The best advice that I can give you is, number one, listen to it a couple times and then just practice a ton yourself. Even if it's like with your wife, like just pretend to be my customer and let's fake a phone call. We used to do it a bunch on the free coaching calls, on Thursday. Because those guys are like, well, what do you mean you charge consultation fees, and how do you talk about numbers over the phone? And so a lot of times the guys will be like, hey, I got this call and this is what the customer wants me to do, and I'm supposed to run out there Thursday. I'm like, well, let's just pretend you're the customer and I'm you, and you call me, and I'm going to show you how you could have come to a number without going out there.
I'm interested in Jobber too. It's just QuickBooks is like such a pain, especially when you're doing an estimate and send it to them. There's like no breakdown. They're like, well, all I see is a price.
Their format is a little weird too, where like a lot of times when someone receives the QuickBook estimate, they don't see at the bottom that you can click it and open it, and they just see a number and they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
How the fuck did you come up with 40 grand versus like with Jobber, it's the line items that automatically show up for them so they can kind of see how it makes sense to get to that number.
So strip all the way into the fence.
Yeah, so we were gonna leave all that in the hole, but now we can, you can go ahead and push everything. Just put all the vegetation in a pile and then, yeah, put all, windrow all your shit down the hill.
Strip that bank too, like those trees and stuff?
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to do that while you, that right there is pretty fucking steep, that first little bit. He doesn't want to cut this, you know, a bunch because then he's just gonna have to build it back up. Just pile them up. If he's gonna do something with them, he can then pull them out, you know, but it's safer for us to push them than his guys to try to cut them, you know. Have you hit anywhere through here that there's good clean dirt that we can put back?
I can drop this middle right here.
All that over there is very, very big chunky rock. Yeah, this is all good up here, but then we're gonna have to put something back here if we cut it out. But we need to build that up.
He can bring a load of dirt in a single axle, Wesley, when he gets to work. So you don't want me to do anything else with that, just smooth it down and put gravel on it.
That's right.
I tried to call him and ask if I could put that dumpster on the asphalt. He didn't answer me.
With the skid steer we can, but we couldn't push it with this. We can probably do it together. I can stay in the front and keep it lifted up while you push it.
Can we try to move it onto the blacktop?
Yeah, let's do it. Come right here.
Pull it in like that.
I'll just move it back there to you, and then I'll stay in the front, keep it front, and you just push it here. I just been doing this shit here because I'll load it down.
Still didn't get the truck started.
What?
The truck's not started yet.
Yeah, I just talked to him. He said he's priming it. I'm gonna go there in just a second.
So how far do you want me to gravel?
Everything.
10 loads of gravel is not gonna do it, dude.
Will you go help him? You'll have to use the machine. He's got the soft stuff. Let's ride, wild man. So yesterday we posted a story for more help. We keep doing that every couple of days because that's the biggest thing right now is we need more help. Within 12 hours, I've probably replied to 20 different people to schedule interviews, and one person out of fucking 20. And I don't know if it's because these guys, these blue collar guys, are just like sending the application out and like never check their email, or what the deal is. It's a little bit scary, especially if you really want leads and need leads. But a lot of times, and Riley's heard me do this, is someone will be like, oh, 30 grand, that's fucking crazy. We've got quotes for 15 and 20 and 22. And like, all right, well, obviously I'm not a player in this. I'm way too high, you know. But happy to help you out if you want me to, you know, compare those quotes and make sure that someone's not missing something on. So you're kind of pulling yourself out of like, hey, I'm not even interested in your job anymore. And then, you know, sometimes they'll be like, well, this guy, and they tell you what their concerns are with that guy, you know, and they'll tell you how they broke it down. Well, they weren't charging you for this. Do you think they missed that, or do you think they've included it and they just didn't put a line up, you know? And so what you do is, number one, by pulling yourself out of the equation of not doing the job, you already set yourself as like, well, hey, I'm the expert. I know what I'm doing. Let me review these guys for you.
Right.
So they already feel like, oh, okay, well, this guy must be pretty good, you know? And then they tell you what all their doubts are, which just creates more doubt with them, you know? And now you also know what your rebuttals are for why would you go with that guy.
Because you already have all their concerns right there.
Exactly.
I just told you. You just threw the ball in their court.
And sometimes that's exactly what you've done. You've pulled yourself out and you choose their winner and they go with that guy. But they're forever gonna know you're the expert after that. And next time something comes up, they're just gonna call you immediately. You know, that's happened to us. They call and say, hey, you know, that guy, it kind of didn't go the way I thought it was gonna go, you know. So you may not win that one, but you're probably gonna win one later on down the road with them. And you know, you've also created a marketer for you. They're going to go out and anytime someone says something about it, they're going to be like, well, I did use this guy and this is the experience I had, but next time I'm going to use this guy. So,
so it's kind of a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of scary to do that when you need leads coming in, you know, but you know, it's also kind of like I say all the time, like you plant seeds and just let them grow. It's the same thing with the branding stuff that we're always preaching, like, stop fighting to get leads in and just build a brand. It sucks because you're not going to get leads today, but if your goal is to be in business for a long time, just work on building a brand. You know,
it's already as simple. Like it's almost like I'm scared to get that first, you know, bad review.
Yeah, for sure. And you're gonna lose sleep for fucking days when you do.
Yeah,
but it's gonna come. I mean, you can't make everybody happy. You know, it doesn't matter. There's always going to be someone that you do business with that you shouldn't have, you know.
And I feel like you even like know that going in sometimes. You're like, man, I got a bad feeling about this. I don't know,
run away from them
all day long.
Fucking run away from them.
Like I've done that every single time. Just since I've started in the last year, I'm like, I don't get a good feeling about this. I'm backing out.
You're smarter than me because I'm an idiot. And sometimes I feel bad for people or whatever, and I get a bad feeling, and I still do it. And fucks you, every motherfucker. I promise you, in 11 years of doing business, I've never fucking once done a job for someone that I was like, I don't know if I feel good about this. And I get done, and I'm like, well, I was wrong. Every fucking time, bro. Every fucking time. Like, I knew I should have done this job.
Damn it.
What's up, mechanic Steven?
I had a couple little spurs come out, and then it went in. So, and they said the pump is slower and it's more efficient.
Where's that other line that you were talking about?
This one, you see that? Take a good time. And when it started building a little pressure, it was bubbling out of here, behind it. So, there's the problem too.
Is this sucking at the same time or not?
They said leave it open until you see fuel spit out, and then crack it or close it. Inside here, in the engine fuel filter, there's a little valve that sometimes when they run out of fuel, which I think it did this morning whenever it cut off, it sucks the ball up inside of it and will not fill this back up. But the truck will still start if we do this. But I started to try to take that off, but it's a little tougher than I wanted to. I didn't want to fuck nothing up.
Yeah, that plastic's scary and noise on it.
Yeah.
It has fuel in it now, right?
Oh yeah, and I actually put more fuel in it while I was sitting here just to be sure. And I filled that up, and that's actually the fullest that's been. Once I cracked that open, that filled up even more. So I know.
Run back into it.
Yeah.
So now you're just pulling it back through.
Trying. It's like it gets a little bit of pressure and then it goes away.
I wonder if it can be sucking air from anywhere else. Check on these guys real quick.
Okay.
There is a check valve that goes inside of the stem, and there it is. And then there's your fuel port right there.
Yeah.
Or the ball down the side there.
I can hear it moving in there. But
Yeah. That's the
dude,
low.
do you have a like the reverse bleeder? Like a syringe we can pull on that maybe?
From that bleed hose?
Yeah.
A vacuum. Maybe. Let me look.
Got me all excited. Me too. Yeah, I might need a new sweatshirt today. This one got ruined.
They're like, we know you charge a consultation fee, so go ahead and send me the invoice. And so that's cool, you know, that people are starting to now like become adapted to that, and they've done research on us. Obviously, they've seen our videos. They've seen enough videos to know we're charging a consultation fee, and they're still calling and saying, happy to pay your consultation fee. We want you to come and do this job. You know, that's not going to be the customer who is calling a million guys. But let's just use the scenario where times are slow. Okay, so I don't have as many leads coming in, and I'm a little more scared. Just like if I first started, and I don't have a bunch of leads coming in. I still use it to vet tire kickers. If they're willing to pay the consultation, great. I know that they're serious. You're gonna be able to tell it. Let's say you maybe you don't even intend to charge them the consultation, but you talk about it. Whatever their rebuttal is, you're gonna know immediately if they're a serious customer or not, because they may be like, oh man, I don't know, I really wanted to do business with you, but I don't know about paying. Well, then you can use your discretion, you know, and say, well, you know, I'm interested in this project too. I'll waive the consultation. I don't normally do this, you know.
Right.
But if they're like, oh fuck that, you know they're shot.
Done.
You know
Right.
they're shot. So, and still, I guess use your discretion. If you want to throw your name in the hat, they're not going to be a good customer.
You know, normally the consultation fee is $500. I do feel like you actually want to move forward with this project. I'm going to do this for 50% off for you. Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you so much, you know?
Yeah. Some people charge $40 just to cover their fuel. You know, we've charged up to $3,000 on like when someone's buying a new property, and you know it's going to be total bullshit. All they're wanting to do is pay you for a piece of paper.
Yep.
They're not going to do the work. They want to go back to the buyer and say, hey, look, it's going to cost $80,000 to fix all these things. They want $80,000 off the price of the house, and they're never going to fix any of them.
No.
You know, I'm for sure getting my money's worth on that. I really, really, really don't want to do that, man.
It's just like, you know, the free estimate thing is it's so old school. Well, everybody does free estimates, and I've literally said before, I said, you know, if you can find me anything that's free in this world, like, I mean, I would honestly love to know about it.
Yeah. He's kind of in the point now where he's thinking he needs to hire, and I'm like, well, dude, you better start screening now, because when you do get into your busy season, someone's already going to have grabbed that dude. So you really need to start finding that guy now. Even if you don't think you're 100% ready from him, there's a little bit of time period too where you can, maybe where you're a little bit slower, you can train this dude up instead of like throwing him to the wolves when you're wide open, you know?
Yeah, and expecting everything out of him at that point. That's my problem, man. I expect everything out of somebody that's working with me like myself, you know?
Yeah.
And I hold myself to a very high standard and very competitive.
Yeah.
When somebody just comes in and they're just sloppy and they just look like, you know, it doesn't look good. That's why you're asking me.
You weren't proud enough of it to say that looks good.
Right, no, it looks like shit. How do you factor in your mobilization, and you just factor that into the daily price of the machine? Because that's what I've been doing. No,
I'll line
separate it.
I'll line item it, yeah.
Okay.
So on total site prep, we typically don't even put it as a line item on here.
Right.
But normally on like a small job where it's like a day or so, there will be a line item here for mobilization, and I've got different prices for like the mini and skid are $600. Anything bigger than that, we charge $1,200 if it were to come on a lowboy. And the main reason for that is, let's say you're there. I'm gonna pull back here and get some fuel. But let's say you're there working, and they are talking about adding some stuff, or maybe in the future we're going to come and do this and say, well, you know, you've seen that mobilization cost on there. If we do it here, we can save you that, you know. So it's easier to sell more work, but they also need to know, hey, if I leave and I'm coming back, you're getting charged that fee again.
Absolutely.
You know? So having it on there makes them, you know, and then also like if you're not putting it in with the cost of the machine, and they want to add a few hours, and it's transparent. I always use like a water faucet analogy. Like if we're doing time and material, here's our prices, and you can kind of keep up with it as we go. It's like a water faucet. You just turn it off when you want to, or keep it running, and as that as that bowl's filling up,
Right.
it's costing you more and more money, you know.
Homeowner or client to be able to nitpick from there too, like, oh well, there was this, you know,
I've literally had
5-minute window you weren't doing something.
I've literally had
you know
guys sitting out there in a lawn chair writing down time when the guys get off the machine to go do whatever, you know. I've had them break it down in 15-minute intervals before on me, you know. I wasn't on the job and they were like, well, from this time to this time the machine was running, but the guy was doing this, you know.
Right. It's just too much open for negotiation, I feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you don't have the work, and at least you get a good feel for the client, you're like, am I probably going to have to, you know, go back and forth on some of this? Yes.
That's what I was going to say, and then it just goes back to making sure you're working with folks you want to work for, you know.
Exactly. Just doing daily rates. And somebody's like, oh, you're only going to be here for 5 or 6 hours. It's like, okay, did you factor in the hours so we're loading the machines, the drive here, loading it back up? I mean, there's 3/4 of your day shot right there that nobody else thinks about.
We have some line items that are built out, and that's the cool thing with jobbers. Like, you can build out like our like perk holes that we dig. We just have a line item for that, and it does have mobilization and an hour built into it versus like, which is more money than just paying for the mobilization and an individual hour on the machine, because you do have to have a laborer there to map out everything, measure it while someone's digging, you know what I mean?
Right.
Instead of breaking that down into 3 different things, plus it's easier just to say, hey, we charge $750 for this, you know what I mean? You already got the number in your head, so when you're selling it, and we get a lot of jobs from that too, from doing perk holes.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So it's a good thing to advertise for. You're the first person on the site development side then, you know what I mean? So
I wanted, and like you said, it's like the bread and butter is like doing the land clearing and getting all the way to the site stuff.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
that's what is really trying to work myself into right now.
Yeah, we try to do as many of those. If I could do nothing but that,
Yeah, all day long.
all day long. Cool thing about it too is everyone, by the time you cleared the lot, everyone's pretty much familiar with the site.
I call you once a week, or when I like freak out and go, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, John.
That's still a weekly basis for us, man. I'll tell you, brother. You got an email. Looks like you got a couple different things you need done at your property.
Yeah, I need my tree line cut back, maybe some regrading, and I got a drainage issue in the front yard, so I might need a culvert underneath my driveway.
Did you just move there?
Can I get a free estimate?
We don't love doing free ones, but I can probably help you pretty close over the phone.
Okay. Sounds good.
Did you just move to that property?
Yeah, a couple months ago. It's not my full-time property, but
Okay, let me pull it up here real quick. Is it a rental?
oh yes, sir.
All right.
Good eye.
It's on the corner, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. And so you need.
There's easy access to the property. If you could help me out on the price with that.
This is bullshit. You mean getting in and out?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's going on with the trees?
I'm just looking to extend, the open space back there.
Behind the house?
Yeah, behind the house.
Okay, so you just wanting to trim some of the canopy back?
Yes, sir.
What do you want to do with that debris? Haul it away?
Yes.
Okay. And then there's a drainage issue.
Yep, right there in the front. I know it's kind of hard to see on Google Earth.
I gotcha. And then I have a septic that says new septic.
Yeah, I just want that checked out. I don't really know what's going on with that. My plumbing's been kind of messed up. Stuff's backing up, coming through the pipes and shit. I think one burst when I first bought the property. I haven't been there, so I don't really know. I've just been dealing with the complaints.
From who, the tenant?
Yeah.
Okay. Are they also complaining about the tree stuff and the drainage stuff?
Yes, they are. I'm super uneducated in the whole septic thing, so I'm gonna need your education on that.
Well, it sounds like you need to do an inspection first on the septic to figure out what the problem is before we can.
Do you do that?
We can. we can, you know, at least point you in the right direction of if it's septic, if it's line, you know, if it's plumbing. We don't do plumbing in house here, so. And then, you know, there's a whole process with environmental health if it is septic.
Oh, so you guys use a sub for that?
No, that's local environmental. You just got to get permits and inspection stuff from them, you know.
Okay. So we gotta get permits, then we can't, you know.
Yeah, if it's septic.
All right. So what's the next step here?
Let me do a little due diligence real quick and give you a call back in just a few minutes. You gonna be available in about 10 minutes?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, man.
All right.
This is bullshit.
There was so many weird things about that.
This is bullshit. This is someone who sees our social media. Free estimate, easy access.
Smell good in here?
There's a paint box in there. It's got paint all over it. To get those drill bits in that box for the septic.
Oh, yeah.
This is all separated by size.